DxD Season 3. Probably not what you were expecting from me after this masterpiece of a video, but here we are. The third to a rather unique shonen series that when I made my first video on it 2 years ago, I didn't know there'd be such a demand for more, especially from this guy. This one's for you. Over the past 2 years, I have grown older, more mature some would say, but I would beg to differ since I've sank so low as to make another piece of content on a series created for horny teenage boys. That's just not me anymore. I'm an adult. I do adult things like drink the beers while watching the new season of Love Live. Alas, I don't ignore a call to action from a loyal viewer, so here I am. We're doing Season 3, and I'm gonna fuck with the timeline again, so buckle up, baby. If you didn't know what was going on in this show, it's okay. I didn't either, but I'll be damned if I'm not gonna try. This isn't no script-fed AI bullshit that 90% of my peers have resorted to. No, this is an incorrect summary. Maxor, you beautiful bastard, I love you. I'll be doing my best to throw more random anecdotes and completely false statements at your eyes than a modern-day news anchor. Some of these details will be canonically accurate, while the rest might as well be canon. I too like to dabble in fan fiction. Yes, I think I'm funny. So stay seated, folks. We're halfway through the flight, and I'm gonna try to land this bitch in under 2 videos. It's a typical Tuesday at the Hyodo household, as Chad Issei once more wards off the invasion of several women in his bed, only to find his house has been turned into a massive female dormitory located in the middle of Tokyo. While Issei may be put off by this renovation and 8 new roommates, his parents do not question the matter, nor what the Grimmerly family might do for a living to be able to accomplish such a feat. W parents. But seriously, how did they do this? Summer begins and Issei is dragged to hell on the train, where the 3 factions, Devils, Angels, Fallen Angels, will unite with the Nordic gods to counter the Chaos Club that White Dragon Man started with Goku last season. All of that was canon. It has become apparent that Loki, along with Cat Lady that totally doesn't have a blood relation to other small cat girl who oddly enough has gotten more screen time lately, are also now a part of this anarchist club. Bath time. The Christian club signs a legally binding agreement with Odin to signify that they are now chill. Small Catwoman meets slightly larger Catwoman in inconspicuous forest for a casual conversation about leaving everything you love and joining the dark side, which is met with a resounding no. Astonished by how she could turn down such an incredible offer, Big Sis uses poison breath to attempt a kidnapping. Rias' actions to prevent this crime is foiled as she too gets stun-locked by the poison breath. Issei stands alone with a massive dragon to back him up, but for character growth purposes, that guy is preoccupied, and so, yeah, Issei stands alone. His dragon hand speaks to remind him he is a low-level cuck who has not unlocked the 2 skills at once ability and also can't access his cool guy form because, well, he's a low-level cuck. Luckily, he realizes a unique override that's definitely not an over-sexualized plot point existing for marketing purposes, and that which is if he touches a female's tatus, he can enter Dragon Mode. And that's what happens. After Loki gets his emo ass handed to him over at the Friendship Decree Declaration, Bad Cat Lady and Spearman retreat. Issei did a semi-good thing. Norse and Christian club signed Buddy Pact. Everybody happy. Bath time. Loki has been trapped in the Norse equivalent of the Phantom Zone, but only for like a handful of hours. Squad Rias and Sitri opt to be a vanguard team to prevent his escape from the Nordic Phantom Zone, along with a Muscle Mommy Valkyrie. As the fight goes sideways, Muscle Mommy calls in a supply drop containing the blessed rock on a stick, Mjolnir. Issei makes a dash for it, only to get mortally wounded by a large puppy. His comrades enter under the assumption that he is super dead. And just as everything seems lost in a turn of events, Fenrir is placed into captivity at the heat of the White Dragon emo, and Issei uses Protag plot armor to respawn and smack the poop out of Loki, while Big Snake Thing is dealt with by One Punch Guy, Saitama's multiverse alternative. With the fight over, One Punch Guy foreshadows a 4th season by challenging Rias and Dragon Boy to a rating game, and then the gang heads home. Akeno and Rias observe that Koneko has now opened her heart to Issei, making the pool of potential love interests further surpassing the amount of women you've touched. I'm sorry, that was a bit rude. Akeno and Issei go on a date where they find themselves lost in a love hotel district. Oddly enough, her father stumbles in while chasing down the All-Father. They have a heart-to-heart about her daddy issues, which Issei awkwardly sits in on. Akeno refuses to acknowledge Big Guy as her father, hurting his feelings, and he walks out. She then tries to get Issei to do naughty things to her, but he refuses, and in a strange happenstance that we won't go into details about, reveals to both of them the true feelings in her heart. She leaves after this and makes a bento, which she gives to Big Guy as reconciliation for her words earlier. Big Guy comments on it tasting like her mother's lunches, making him big happy. Happy ending. It seems God felt left out and decided that he too wanted his soldiers to have an affiliation to a board game. Although now that I think about it, God is kind of dead in this universe. Forgot about that. It seems that Saint Michael has decided that the soldiers of God should have an affiliation with a set of cards, replicating the chess pieces of the devil ranks. He has chosen Elena, the good Christian girl from last season, to be his ace. She has been tasked with assisting the Gremory household, which means we need to add her to the counter of how many more bitches Issei has than you. That is 6 more, if it slipped your mind. Along with Elena, Muscle Mommy has also been told to stay behind to supervise and assist the devil gang, much to her dislike. She also really wants a boyfriend. You may want to work on yourself first, girl. You can stand alone. You just don't realize it yet. I prescribe you 5 Sock Sensei videos to make you realize that some people have sunk lower than you, and half an hour of motivational lizard. Agia has been targeted by a strange devil prince that has a slight resemblance to a certain world-dominating anime protagonist. He says that Agia saved him once and asserts a marriage proposition like a fucking weirdo. And also apparently they're playing him in a rating game tournament. I forgot to tell you that. You're welcome. When they're transported to the rating game field, as one may suspect of someone with Sith yellow eyes, Proposal Guy turns out to be involved in the devil equivalent of neo-Nazis, who believe pure-blood devils are superior to all other beings. Odin and Azrael predicted this development and joined the battle against the xenophobic devils, while the Rias clan attempts to locate Agia, following Sith Lord's pre-motivated kidnapping. Despite World War religion going on right outside his lair, Sith Lord tells Rias he wants to hold the rating game here, with Agia as their prize. She agrees for some reason. The battle for the most part is smooth sailing, and for monetary reasons, we will not go into detail about it. The queen, however, stands tall as she is constantly being rejuvenated by her bishops. Rias and Akeno have fallen into a deadlock with the trio, but upon Koneko's request, Issei is offered up as tribute for whoever can land the final blow. This causes a petty argument to break out between the two, their emotions fueling their powers, swiftly defeating the queen. The Rias gang confronts Sith Lord, and in an unforeseen turn of events, the rapey priest that never seems to stay dead once more squirms his way into the season, and once more Kiba one-shots him. Before being cut down like the garbage he is, Priest Guy exposes that Sith Lord is, surprise, a sociopath that seduces and rapes holy maidens, adding them to his collection like a real sleazeball. It's revealed that this man has been lurking in the background for the past 2 seasons, attempting to take Agia, who he targeted as his next victim. The little shit goes on a monologue about how epic and cool he now is because he ate a snake or something. Issei just claps the little guy's cheeks up. The Rias clan celebrates as their mission has been a great success, but in a turn of events, Agia is engulfed into a pillar of light, piecing out of reality. Before them appears a direct descendant of the OG Sainton man, Beelzebub. Here's a picture. He's not pretty. No wonder he was an ass. Sith Lord gets smited by him for acting like a 9-year-old in game chat. After a quick monologue about how cool he is for being an epic pureblood, Issei enters Juggernaut Drive, aka Dragon Dicto, allowing him to slap Beelzebub around like a small child. Despite reducing egocentric Satan to ash, Issei has been consumed by the Jug Drive and is unable to snap out of his bloodthirsty haze. Valley, who was just casually roaming around the dimensional gap between space and time, stumbles upon Agia, grabs her, and brings her back with him as he attempts to reel Issei back to form. As the two fight dragon on dragon, Rias desperately tries to get through to Issei, finally finding success thanks to the help of plot progression. With his return to normal, the White Emo Emperor and Red Cuck Emperor vow to fight again, and Emo reveals that he wanted to find Big Red. This guy. I'm not quite sure why. He doesn't fight him or anything, he just kind of stares at him, vowing to one day do something, like a kid when you take his DS away. Sure buddy, you do something. Following the events of Dragon Dicto, Issei is in a long-term coma until being revived by Agia. The two share a moment after he wakes up, but as usual, that doesn't last too long. It turns out that Loki has cursed both Rias and Issei, making a Doppler of Issei and drawing out Rias' emotions that she hides deep down, aka her desire to have a normal romantic relationship with Issei. The gang tries to reason with her but are unsuccessful, and Loki fucks off into time-space so that we can't have any more information on what the hell he did there. The group chases her down into the dimensional gap, recruiting the help of Chaos Club to lead them to her. When they find her, she is still deep in Lover's Rage mode. A piece of Juggernaut scale mail cursed by Loki latches onto Rias, giving her Gundam armor. Issei is forced into an Iron Man fight against her, much to his disdain. As the two go head to head, Issei is finally able to reach Rias' mind hole. It seems that the entire season, Rias was a tad pissed that Chad Issei would only refer to her as president and not just use her name. And to be honest, I can completely understand. It's kind of weird for the guy you like to call you Bucho when you attempt to sleep with him. I'm also pretty sure this was an issue last season, but maybe I'm just getting confused as my mind rejects my attempts to comprehend this show. I don't know. As he yells her name, she snaps out of it, freeing her from the brainwash spell. After some more fighting with the cursed armor to appease the 1% of us that watch this show for its epic, unique battle action. Yes, I'm a man of culture, I belong to that percent. The two get thrown into a portal to observe the blobfish of 2012, and then Big Red just kind of shows up and goes, "I don't think you should be here," and portals them home. Before leaving though, the two have a little confession scene where they make apparent their shared affection, but due to the desire to continue the inevitable crawl of light novel releases, the harem cannot reach a conclusion just yet, and the two immediately forget the confession to each other upon their arrival back in Tokyo. Muscle Mommy is still mad lonely and forgotten by Odin, so Rias offers her space as the rook for her household, to which she accepts after being coaxed by the affordable insurance premiums offered by the underworld. Issei goes on to create the iconic top 100 Billboard track, Opie Dragon, and the world goes on to be a better place. The end. Like for 4th season, Janet.